Tonight on CTV News, changes to ferry sailings.
It's got to be better than the way it is.
Good news for one key ferry route, but on the main route to Victoria, headaches for spring break travelers with multiple sailings canceled.
We were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
Deadly Air Canada crash. An air traffic controller says he messed up. What we're learning about the two pilots killed on a New York runway. And treacherous terrain, a hiker critically injured trying to rescue another hiker who fell on a mountain in Lions Bay.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. A day trip for a group of hikers near Lions Bay on the weekend turned into an extremely challenging, dangerous rescue mission for two Lower Mainland teams. As CTV's Ben Milger reports, a pair of injured hikers had to be choppered off the mountain. One of them is in critical condition tonight.
The man in the medical basket beneath this chopper is lucky to be alive after falling more than 100 meters down a steep embankment on Saturday afternoon. He was in a group of 14 hikers on a day trip to Brunswick Mountain near Lions Bay. According to search and rescue crews, a woman in the group slipped on ice and fell close to 30 meters. The man fell when he attempted to help her.
We definitely recommend that people stay put where they are. They call 911. And the resources will come. We will get to you, and we're going to come with the rope and safety equipment needed to operate in that terrain.
When the call for help was made, Lions Bay Search and Rescue responded with mutual aid from North Shore Rescue. 2 helicopters were used, one for each injured hiker. For the more seriously injured man, an ER dock was lowered onto the cliffside along with a technical mountain rescue team.
They had to rappel into that terrain, set up anchors, and then, of course, secure the patient in precarious terrain with a 100-foot waterfall that was below them.
According to search and rescue teams, this can be a very dangerous time of year in the mountains. Even when we get spring-like conditions down here in the city, it can still very much be winter up in the backcountry. And in the alpine areas, the conditions can change hour to hour.
You really do need to kind of bring everything with you for those conditions. I would say gear up more than you think. This time of the year is particularly dangerous for slips and slides.
The woman was airlifted off the mountain in stable condition. SAR teams encourage everybody heading into the backcountry to carry essential survival items, be aware of the conditions, and understand their own limitations. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
4 people are dead following 2 separate avalanches in the northern BC backcountry. Both happened on Sunday. Police say 3 heli-skiers were killed in the first avalanche near Terrace. One skier was airlifted to hospital. 2 hours later, another avalanche claimed the life of one person near Pleasant Camp along the BC-Alaska border. 4 others were rescued in that incident. BC Ferries is apologizing to the public after being forced to cancel multiple sailings on its busiest route. A mechanical issue has sidelined one of its ships. That caused long delays for families heading to the island for spring break. As crews moved passengers onto other sailings, questions are once again being raised about the system's reliability. CTV's Craig Krause is live in Horseshoe Bay with more. Craig, what can you tell us about what caused the problem?
Well, Mi Jung, BC Ferry says it was with the Spirit of Vancouver Island's starboard generator. There's an issue there. And last night, as that was undergoing maintenance, they did accommodate those that were stranded by having a 1 a.m. sailing. And as the system now gets back on track, residents on the Sunshine Coast got some welcome news today.
The days of struggling to get to the Sunshine Coast could soon be a thing of the past. On Monday, BC Ferries announced sweeping changes to the Horseshoe Bay-Langdale route. That includes 120 additional sailings during the shoulder seasons, including 2 late afternoon trips when demand is highest.
The news that there's going to be more sailings is incredible.
It's got to be better than the way it is.
More options for a route that saw a record 2.7 million plus travelers last year.
Sometimes your life doesn't work out the way where you have a plan in place. You have to travel last minute.
It's fantastic that BC Ferries is responding to our community.
A response the Mayor of Gibson's has been pushing for.
I think they're doing it now in part because we've been calling for a lot, including having this commissioner's report that just happened last month.
In February, a report by the BC Ferry Commissioner found that despite record traffic, the route lost more than $30 million before government subsidies. Since 2020, operating expenses on that route rose at twice the rate of revenues.
I called for that probe because I was concerned that BC Ferries had started to use it as kind of a talking point in some of their responses to why things weren't working on our route.
BC Ferry says after reviewing data, feedback in the report, changes were needed, including system-wide adjustments.
Is that enough to fill that $30 million gap?
No, and that's not the goal here. In an ideal world, we would operate a system that would at least break even and be revenue neutral on all of the routes that we operate. Right now, that's only true for our main route between Swartz Bay and Tsawwassen.
BC Ferry says without an additional vessel, it's looking for creative solutions, including increasing bookable space on the route to an average of 70% through the end of April. The goal? Help more people secure peak sailings in advance, while still maintaining drive-up access on every trip.
It will save a lot of my time and it'll make it more convenient to travel.
And this shoulder season schedule will begin in mid-May and run until the end of June to accommodate that extra traffic before the summer rush. And then it will return in September and run until mid-October. Mijung?
Craig Krause reporting live tonight from Horseshoe Bay. A 45-year-old man is dead after being found unresponsive in Surrey over the weekend. His death is now being investigated as suspicious. First responders were called to Foxglove Drive around 11:15 a.m. on Saturday to treat an injured man. Despite life-saving efforts, police say he died at the scene. The man has been identified as Zachary Ryder. A suspect was arrested but has since been released. The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team has been called to work on the case, but at this point, the death has not been deemed a homicide. Investigators believe this was an isolated incident and there is no risk to the public. Soaring high gas prices have become the norm here in BC and around the country since the war in Iran broke out. Prices shot up again on the weekend, but there may be some relief soon. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more.
Gas prices could come down significantly as soon as Wednesday, leading to a decline throughout the week, according to this analyst.
I'm looking at what could be as much as a 9-cent a liter decrease, pushing us down to the low $2 range. Not great, but it means don't fill up today. Don't fill up on Tuesday. Wait until Wednesday because the markets are starting to reflect the more positive news.
Trump says he is holding off on attacking Iranian energy sites for 5 days, as he says there have been good talks on ending the war.
If we are to take at face value what he said and markets are doing that, it means that this could be the beginning of prices tumbling back to levels that are a little bit more comfortable for most consumers.
This comes after Trump had threatened to target critical infrastructure Sunday if the Strait of Hormuz was not reopened. The strait is a critical choke point for global oil and natural gas movement. Still, drivers filling up today are feeling the pain.
Everything else is going up. So, it's to the point now where it's do you buy groceries, fill your tank up, or do you pay your rent and bills?
It's getting expensive. It's ridiculous out here, man. Spending like $20, almost $20 more on gas every week.
This Petro-Canada at Hastings and Renfrew is seeing prices at $213.9 a litre for a regular tank of gas, but those prices could come down as soon as Wednesday. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
Zoned out in a 100K zone, a driver gets slapped with a steep fine after appearing to be asleep at the wheel in rush hour traffic. The story in just a moment, but first let's take a look outside at 6:08. A gorgeous shot of English Bay and plenty of blue sky still left for us. And Anne, you know, the minute that the sun broke out on the weekend, everyone was out basking in the sunshine.
Yeah, it was so busy along the seawall by my house. Yeah, everybody was enjoying that, and the cherry cherry blossoms are in bloom. It was a great weekend. And here's a look at temperatures right now. We're seeing mostly cloudy skies out there, 8 degrees at the harbor, 9 in Burnaby right now, double digits in North Vancouver at 10. Same goes for Pitt Meadows, and you're looking at 9 degrees in Abbotsford, also an 11 in Chilliwack. As we head through the overnight, well, the rain returns, so make sure you have your umbrellas handy. We'll drop down to a seasonal low of 4. Tomorrow we'll start off wet, but it does dry up late in the afternoon with some sunny breaks in there. Windy near the water in the morning with a high of 12.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next trip by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
We got some sun, some clouds, some rain this week. Your full forecast coming up.
Well, 3 days of solid sunshine in Vancouver like we had is pretty good run.
Nobody's complaining.
All right, thanks, Anne. After pulling over a woman who appeared to be asleep behind the wheel of her self-driving Tesla on Highway 1 last week, the Highway Patrol is reminding BC motorists that just because your vehicle has an autonomous driving feature, that doesn't make it legal to use here. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
It was last Tuesday, morning rush hour on Highway 1 through Coquitlam, when a patrol officer witnessed a Tesla driver taking a little nap behind the wheel.
One of our officers saw a driver who didn't appear to be touching the steering wheel. When our officer got up beside the driver, she couldn't get her attention in spite of a lot of effort. And it's our contention that the driver was fully asleep.
This is a screenshot of the driver who police believe had put her car in self-driving mode.
The driver was adamant that she'd merely zoned out for a moment, but considering the considerable effort it took to get her attention, plus a review of the in-car police video, it wasn't supporting the idea that this person was momentarily zoned out. They appeared completely asleep.
While Teslas and some other newer vehicles now offer what's known as semi-autonomous self-driving,
it is illegal in British Columbia to use self-driving mode on your vehicles. There are some autonomous features that are permissible under the Motor Vehicle Act, like lane departure warning and things like that. But anything that makes the vehicle fully autonomous, so you're not participating in the operation of the vehicle, is illegal.
The 37-year-old woman who was pulled over by Highway Patrol was fined $368 for driving without due care and attention and $138 for speeding.
This isn't something we see every day, but it is something we expect to see more of as vehicles get more sophisticated.
There is an argument that by removing the human element, self-driving is actually safer.
It's funny, people spend a lot of time on social media talking to their friends, talking about the theory, and perhaps they think that because this function is available, it's legal. Well, no. Do some research into the law, and I'm here to help you with that. It is illegal. It is unsafe.
Right now, the blanket ban does make sense, and it makes sense because the technology is so new and evolving so quickly that we don't really understand it, especially when it comes to the level of involvement and participation that is required of the driver.
With videos like these all over the internet, Highway Patrol officers are now on the lookout for drivers who aren't actually driving.
We have that camera. We have our own eyes. We will enforce the law. So be in control at all times.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
An investigation is underway after an overnight shooting in Surrey's Cloverdale neighborhood. Police say shots rang out around 3:30 a.m. A business in the 5400 block of Production Boulevard was damaged, but no injuries have been reported. Police have not confirmed whether it is related to extortion and say the motive is still under investigation. It's now been 6 years since COVID-19 became a familiar term to all of us. We've all had time to reflect on how our governments handled the public health emergency, and most people are satisfied with their performance. Our provincial government gets a much higher score than most. CTV's Penny Daflos explains.
Exactly 6 years ago, we were thanking our healthcare heroes. Your government has your back. And getting daily policy announcements responding to what would become known as the COVID-19 pandemic.
We're providing $192 million to directly support vaccine development.
There has to be hope as we get through these difficult, challenging times.
Pollsters continue to track how people feel about how governments handled the crisis.
People are essentially saying it was a tough time, but I think the government managed it well. Numbers significantly higher in Quebec and in BC for the way provincial governments managed it.
56% of respondents felt the federal government probably or definitely succeeded. 67% of British Columbians agreed the province's handling was successful.
And it was trying to find a balance of, the negative effects the virus had on people and
that turned out to be mostly older people, people with immune compromising conditions.
BC had limits on gatherings and shut down restaurants for a brief time, but didn't have the widespread lockdowns and school closures other provinces opted for.
This is not the time for half measures.
In spring of 2020, the feds and provinces provided billions in financial support while public health officials tried different strategies to combat a virus that didn't have a vaccine, wasn't well understood, and was killing people around the globe. Those lessons are now being applied to the future.
Having those basics in place, making sure our public health lab has the testing that we need to be able to tell if somebody has something unusual, whether it's malaria or, Lassa fever or something that's come into the province, that we need to be able to say, okay, here's what we need to do about this.
Labs are one thing, public confidence and understanding is another. The ongoing measles outbreaks illustrate a distrust in vaccines and the medical establishment that's continued to grow. But that's not a universal attitude.
I think part of what we have is a situation where people believe that they should be ready for the next one.
Hopefully there'll never be another one quite like that one again. Penny Dafflaw, CTV News, Vancouver.
Wedding woes, why a Sunshine Coast resort canceled a party 2 months before the booking, and what the couple is doing about it. Also ahead.
It was just a very loud boom, and everybody just jolted out of their seats. People hit their heads. People were bleeding.
What led to the Air Canada plane crash in New York that killed 2 pilots? The chilling air traffic control communication ahead. When CTV News at 6 continues, stay with us. Investigations are underway to figure out what led to a deadly crash between an Air Canada Express jet and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport. 2 pilots were killed and more than 40 people hospitalized. CTV News has confirmed Antoine Ferry was one of the pilots killed in the crash. CTV Jean-Vive Beauchemin has more.
Parts of the mangled cockpit hang from the Air Canada Express wreckage as investigators piece together the cause of the collision.
Man, that wasn't good to watch.
Chilling audio from the air control tower reveals some of the communications leading up to the crash and its horrifying aftermath.
Man, that wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
At around 11:40 p.m. Sunday, a Port Authority fire truck is responding to another emergency. Another plane reporting odor in the cabin.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop.
The CRJ 900, operated by Jazz Aviation, landing at LaGuardia, smashes nose first into the truck of the airport's runway 4.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
One of those pilots was Antoine Ferry from Coteau-du-Lac, Quebec. A flight attendant was found nearly 100 meters from the plane, still strapped in her jump seat that was ripped from the airplane. CTV News has confirmed that her name is Solange Tremblay and that she was undergoing surgery.
We're fully supporting the relevant investigative authorities in their investigation to learn everything we can about these events.
Dozens of passengers were treated and released, but others are in serious condition in hospital.
Everybody screaming. Pretty quickly, we didn't have any directions because the pilot's cabin had been destroyed. So
he smashed his face into the seat in front of him, broke his glasses.
Sarah Dorner's husband, a professor at Montreal's Polytechnic Institute, was on board.
He smelled gas, so he was encouraging people to just slide down, go down the wing. He was there to catch them.
Canada's National Transportation Safety Board has also dispatched a team of investigators to assist in the probe. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
And a social media account for one of the pilots killed, Antoine Ferry, indicates he was in a relationship with a woman in Vancouver. The tragedy is having ripple effects throughout the entire aviation industry. There were dozens of canceled and delayed flights at airports in Montreal and Toronto. While there were few delays elsewhere in Canada, the situation in New York was on the minds of travelers across the country. CTV News spoke with an Ottawa man who is retired but worked in the air traffic control industry for 35 years. Here's what he said about the federal aviation investigation into the crash.
They will go over everything. They will
go over the flight logs, they will go over the recordings, they will go over every system that we have recording that event. Will be analyzed, and there will be probably a report in a year or 2 years that has every single thing that happened that contributed to the accident.
He adds that changes to protocols or technology used may follow as a result. It's been hidden away for decades. Now a piece of aviation history will be on public display on Vancouver Island, also ahead.
You know, I think people should know and don't have to go through what we've done because it sucks.
They booked their wedding on the Sunshine Coast a year in advance, but 2 months before the resort canceled. Now the couple's suing. You're watching CTV News at 6. Stay with us. A Tawasin couple says they were blindsided after booking their dream wedding a year in advance, only to be told less than 3 months before the big day it was going to be canceled because of a scheduling error. CTV's Isabella Zaffarisi has their story.
The Sunshine Coast is a special place for Brianna Grayson and Chris Yanch. Yanch spent his summers in Sechelt and Grayson worked at the local hospital. It's also where the couple got engaged, and so it made sense to tie the knot there.
It's kind of been a dream destination for us.
Last March, they paid their deposit for 2 nights at Rockwater's Secret Cove Resort in Half Moon Bay to elope on June 6th of this year. Evergreen Hospitality Group, which oversees events at Rockwater, confirmed the booking.
We've been envisioning ourselves getting married there.
But on March 14th, the couple received an email less than 3 months before their nuptials saying their wedding was, quote, no longer available as the property has been reserved for a full buyout for another event.
I've never experienced this kind of anxiety. It's just like, I don't know what to do.
And to have the carpet pulled out from under you like that, it's gut-wrenching.
They had already booked their photographer, makeup artist, and officiant.
We've, paid some of our vendors more than just the initial deposit, going up to like 75% of what we will be owing them total.
The couple says one of the solutions Evergreen Hospitality Group suggested was for the resort to only host the ceremony.
We weren't allowed to eat there. We weren't allowed to dine there. Have our drinks there. That was a bit of an insult.
In a statement to CTV News, Evergreen Hospitality Group says, unfortunately, this situation arose as a result of a scheduling error. As soon as we identified the scheduling conflict, we reached out to the couple to express our apologies and offer a variety of alternative options, such as a new date and a full refund. One litigation lawyer says the couple entered into a contract with the resort when they paid their deposit.
But let's say they had to pay double to go somewhere else. Arguably, that would be their damages, and they could pursue this resort for that amount.
Grayson and Yanch say they're still going to elope on June 6th, and while it may look different than what they had initially planned, they're not going to let it ruin this next chapter of their lives. Isabella Zaffarisi, CTV News.
A piece of Canadian aviation history will soon be on display at a Vancouver Island museum. The de Havilland Vampire aircraft is the first jet fighter to serve in significant numbers in the Royal Canadian Air Force, with about 85 units operating from 1948 to the mid-50s. The force's base in Comox has had this Vampire tucked away in a hangar for a quarter century. It can't sit outside because it would get destroyed. So the Comox Air Force Museum has been fundraising to build a special glass display case for it, raising $1 million over the past 3 years.
Every year we try to find ways to make it more interesting for the public, and this is just another addition to a gem at the wing.
The goal is for the Vampire to be fully on display by the end of April. Some welcome news for the town of Tumbler Ridge. After grappling with so much heartbreak, the town is one step closer to possibly getting major funding for a hockey arena. Also coming up.
He got bitten to death. There were more than 30 lacerations on his body.
A service dog in training is mauled to death while at a dog daycare in Quebec. The owner's shock and outrage. That's ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. Hanging out in Haddon Park, down by the Maritime Museum on another gray day.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
A Quebec man is heartbroken after his golden retriever was fatally mauled at a dog daycare just weeks away from graduating as a service dog. CTV's Katie Griffin has the details and a warning they may be disturbing to some viewers.
At Felix Lantier's chiropractic clinic, there is an emptiness.
Living without Austin is hard.
His dog Austin, a service dog in training and fixture at the clinic, was mauled to death last week.
Patients would come in just to see Austin, and it would comfort them. Sometimes they would be scared of having their treatments. They would be anxious, so Austin would be there for them.
The 1.5-year-old golden retriever had been at Cananoo, a Gatineau dog daycare and boarding facility, while Lantier was on a business trip. On Tuesday, the day he was to pick Austin up, he received a call that the dog had been bitten. Hours later, he was told Austin had died.
The veterinarian told me that it was the worst attack she's seen in 15 years of career. The information I got from the daycare was not what the veterinarian reported to me, so I was really confused. So that's when I opened the bag and I saw my dog. I just looked at the guy and I was like, are you kidding me? My dog didn't get bit. Like, he got bitten to death. Like, there were more than 30 lacerations on his body, open wounds. Some were golf ball size. It was crazy.
Gatineau police are now investigating and over the weekend went with animal control officers to the property. They confirmed that the dog that attacked Austin was still there and say so far they have been unable to speak with the owner of the business.
People have to understand that when police officers and animal control are dealing with municipal bylaw, our powers of intervention are pretty limited. They'll try to dissect the whole story, so that's why we need the cooperation of everybody involved, so the investigators are able to see if there was any negligence of some kind.
CTV News reached out to Cananoo for comment and has not heard back. Lantier plans to file a lawsuit.
What I'm hoping is that Austin didn't deny for nothing. I want justice. I want this place to close down.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
It was a team effort to rescue a cat stuck in a tree in Ottawa. An arborist came to the feline's rescue, climbing about 24 meters up to save the day. On Saturday, a Reddit user posted a photo showing the cat high on a tree in Ottawa, asking if anyone could help bring it down. A certified arborist jumped into action on his day off, and with the help of Ottawa fire crews, he was able to climb way up for the rescue. Oh, poor cat. Maybe he was chased up the tree and then realized, whoa, I can't get down now.
And he went really high up there.
Very high.
And he's not, to make fun of him, pretty chunky for him to get so high.
It looked like a raccoon at first when I saw it.
Well, he's got another 8 lives. He's happy and safe. That's all that matters.
Right.
All right. Let's take a look at our forecast today. Mostly cloudy skies. Hope you were able to get outside and enjoy it because it all changes we head through the overnight with a deep low moving its way in from the Pacific, and that's going to bring in some strong winds as well for Vancouver Island as well as the Sunshine Coast. You'll see winds from the southeast gusting anywhere between 100 to 120 kilometers an hour. For the Chilcotin area, you'll see winds from the southeast gusting to 90 kilometers an hour through the day tomorrow. Also, we have winter storm warnings in effect for the central interior as well as the Peace River region, anywhere between 10 to 25 centimeters of snow with winds from the northeast gusting anywhere between 60 to 70 kilometers an hour. So dangerous conditions there. And a special weather statement in place for the eastern Fraser Valley as well as the Thompson-Okanagan area. You'll see winds tomorrow afternoon right through tomorrow evening from the southwest, gusting to 80 kilometers an hour. So it will be a very stormy day, power outages possible. So do keep that in mind for us. We will see the rain return through the overnight into tomorrow morning for your early morning commute. Periods of rain end in the afternoon, then slowly before sunsets, we will get some sunny breaks in there as well. You'll see showers for the southern interior, your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Wet and windy for Port Hardy without wind warning in place, 10 degrees. You'll start off wet for Campbell River and Comox. Clears up quite nicely through the afternoon. That's what you can expect from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. Warm temperatures between 12 and 16 degrees for the Sunshine Coast. Showers in 8. Wet and windy up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 9. Whistler, you'll see about 5 centimeters of snow before it transitions over into showers with a high of 5 degrees. And across the lower lower mainland, a wet start, drying up through the afternoon with temperatures between 9 and 12 degrees. Heading into Wednesday, scattered showers and 9, clearing up for Thursday. And then it clouds over for Friday and Saturday, staying dry, sunny breaks and 12 degrees. Cloudy skies with a chance of a shower on Sunday afternoon with a high of 11. And then rain returns on Monday, cooling down to 9. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So just keep your umbrellas handy because it's unsettled for the next few days.
Yeah, early spring can often be a bit unpredictable.
A little bit of everything.
All right, thank you, Anne. BTS is back, fresh off their first concert together in 4 years. A documentary on their comeback is about to be released. And streamflation.
I have about 5. It has gone up, and we try to keep a budget.
What's new is old again. More people are choosing to watch streaming services with ads to save money. The trend and how Canadians get their entertainment next. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for just under 73 cents to the American dollar. Oil down $10.10, closing the day at 88.13. Gold lost nearly $168 on the day, and stocks rallied after Trump hinted at a possible end to the war. The TSX up 566 points, the Dow Jones up 631 points. A new investment fund is giving a boost to local companies looking to take their business to the next level.
This fund will help grow BC companies rooted in the UBC innovation space. It ensures we can get on the ground, on the floor, to invest in companies that we know have huge growth potential, while providing the capital they need to expand and create good-paying jobs.
The UBC Catalyst Ventures Fund is a partnership between the university and the Crown Corporation called InBC. It will invest in early-stage companies created by UBC staff, students, and recent alumni. The fund aims to turn local research into new products, treatments, and services with a focus on life sciences and technology. Netflix has been streaming content for nearly 20 years, and now there are many other popular services such as Amazon Prime, Crave, and Disney+. A new survey finds households that pay for streaming average nearly 3 subscriptions each. But how much they cost is a growing concern. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
Streaming price hikes have become so common they've earned a nickname, streamflation. Rising fees can add up quickly, especially if you have multiple services.
I have about 5. It has gone up, and we try to keep a budget.
If you don't keep track, you may not know how much you're spending each month.
I have to look at my bill, so don't know yet.
According to the Couch Potato Report, there are 55 streaming services in Canada, and last year revenue increased 15% to $4.8 billion. This year, the revenue forecast is 11.5% growth, with expected revenue of $5.35 billion. Consumer Reports' Jim Wilcox was shocked when he checked his statements and found he was paying about $1,000 a year for TV services.
The cost has really creeped up on a lot of people, and it's probably one reason that a lot of people don't understand how much they're really paying.
The top 10 providers hiked prices last year by an average of 7%. It's why more Canadians are now streaming services with ads, as it costs 42% less. If you're willing to watch commercials, consider switching to a lower-priced ad-supported tier available on many streaming services. To save money, you can also check your subscriptions, your apps and credit card bills, and cancel services you aren't using. There are also free streaming options such as Pluto and Tubi. Crave, which is owned by Bell Media, the parent company of CTV, saw a 26% increase over last year, due in part to programs like Heated Rivalry. If there are shows you can't afford to miss, Wilcox says you can also consider a strategy called service hopping.
You sign up for a service, you binge everything you can for a month or so, and then cancel that service and then jump to another one.
You may want to put a reminder on your phone to cancel the service so you're not paying after your binge is over. For many households, streaming is the new normal, and those that pay for streaming services have an average of almost 3 subscriptions each. Pat Foran, CTV News.
The biggest band in K-pop is the focus of a new documentary premiering on Friday.
사실 그 BTS라는 팀 자체가 그런 것 같은데 되게
되게 멋진 왕관, 큰 왕관이어가지고.
BTS The Return offers an intimate look at the group's journey to their latest album. It also traces how the 7 members got reacquainted with being global superstars after completing mandatory military service in South Korea. The documentary will be broadcast on Netflix. Celine Dion is set to return to the stage in Paris this fall.
There were nights when the wind was so cold.
Posters have popped up around Paris with the titles of some of her iconic songs. She also posted photos of herself in the city on Instagram. She's planning to give 2 concerts each week in September and October. It will be her first full shows in over 5 years after she had to cancel her residency dates in Las Vegas in 2021 for health reasons. A year later, she revealed she had been diagnosed with the rare stiff person syndrome. It's down to the final 2, Tumbler Ridge versus Tabor, the finalist for this year's Craft Hockeyville, with $250,000 in arena upgrades on the line, plus creature connection. Adam finds out how a fearful encounter formed an unexpected friendship next on the Sawatsky sign-off. Right now, here's a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
Do you know what the recommended amount of screen time is for your teen? Tuesday on Your Morning Vancouver, how sticking to those guidelines could have a real positive impact on their mental health. We'll take a closer look. Also, with the deadly Air Canada incident at a New York airport, we're taking a closer look at air safety amid the busy spring travel season. We'll see you in the morning.
Princess. I'm the daughter of the chief, leader of my people.
We are getting the first look today at the trailer for the live-action remake of Moana 10 years after the animated musical was released. Catherine Lagaya makes her debut in the title role, while the actress who originally voiced Moana serves as an executive producer on the project. Dwayne Johnson is reprising his role as the Polynesian demigod Maui. You can catch Moana in theaters on July the 10th. The Toronto Blue Jays announced contract extensions for both their manager and general manager today. The team has agreed to a 2-year contract extension with manager John Schneider, which will run through the end of the 2028 season. Since taking over in 2022, Schneider has won 303 games as the Jays manager, the 4th highest total in the club's history. Meanwhile, the team has also agreed to a 5-year contract extension with general manager Ross Atkins. That deal will run through the end of the 2031 season. During Atkins' 10-year tenure as GM, the Jays have made the playoffs 5 times, including appearing in the World Series for the first time in 32 years. A pitcher from the suburbs of Victoria has been named the San Diego Padres opening day starter. 33-year-old Nick Pivetta, who threw the first ever pitch for the Victoria Harbour Cats, will now open the season for San Diego when they face the Detroit Tigers on Thursday afternoon in Southern California. The Harbour Cats' 2013 alum was also the first player from the team to make it to the major leagues. This is Pivetta's 2nd season with the Padres. He began his big league career with the Boston Red Sox. Tumbler Ridge has been named as a finalist for Craft Hockeyville. This means if the community wins the popular vote, the town will get $250,000 for rink upgrades and an opportunity to host an NHL preseason game. A community member nominated Tumbler Ridge for the contest following the tragic mass shooting at the town's high school last month. 8 people lost their lives that day along with the shooter. As a finalist, Tumbler Ridge will go head-to-head with Tabor, Alberta to see which city claims the title and the prize. Voting opens April the 3rd.
When we are faced with the tragedy this year, this is where we gather. When we've recently been hurting, we've all come here to support one another. It's not just an arena, it's who we are.
If Tumbler Ridge wins, the community will use the prize money to upgrade accessible seating and the sound system in the local rink. I'm sure Tabor is a great community, but better luck next year, Tabor. It's going to be tough to beat Tumbler Ridge this year. Okay, well, a group of senior hockey players in Ontario is being recognized for their continued passion for the sport. 6 players from the Kitchener-Waterloo Daytimers League will be inducted into the 80-plus Hockey Hall of Fame on Saturday. As the name suggests, the nonprofit recognizes active recreational players aged 80 or over. The incoming inductees say the camaraderie keeps them playing as much as their love of the game.
Play 3 times a week with these guys. It's the most fun I've ever had in hockey. And I don't know what I would do if I quit doing this.
Getting the hockey bag and trying to put on your skates is nothing compared to being able to get out on the ice and try to make a few plays.
The players are also in a coffee club and go for a post-game cup of joe and muffin rather than a pint and wings.
Mijang, I thought you were going to say, as the name alludes, it happens in the daytime because everybody needs to go to bed a bit early.
That's amazing.
It is great.
Incredible. I mean, hockey, tough sport, even just lacing up those skates. It's incredible.
Still got it in them.
Maybe they'll make it to the 90s club, right?
Hopefully.
Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in a moment, but first, Lauren's got to look ahead to your late news.
Well, Mijang, we are learning more tonight about the park board plans to remove lifeguards from a handful of Vancouver beaches this summer and how much it could save the city. And even after days of sunshine over the weekend, the cleanup continues after that massive rainfall last week. We have a closer look tonight where crews are at in Coquitlam dealing with the aftermath of a major mudslide. And we do have some good news out of the Fraser Valley after floodwaters prompted a local state of emergency on Friday. So we'll have all the latest details on both of those at 11:30.
Yeah, quite the mess out there. Too bad it's going to rain again. Okay, thank you, Lauren. Under the sea, a friend may be waiting for you. Just take it from one Victoria woman who found a companion close to the shore. With 10 legs between them, the pair has found a unique and special connection. Adam explains on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
When Catherine Dobrovolsky began her daily walks by the water, she never expected to form a friendship.
I just wanted to get some exercise in, enjoy the fresh air.
But Catherine soon realized she wasn't alone in being active by the ocean.
Every day there was something new here. It became addictive.
While the creatures Catherine encountered and caught on camera were countless, there was just one that really captured her imagination.
Just watching it camouflage and the way it moved, I was hooked.
Catherine kept her eye out for other little octopi until one day she noticed a big blob.
I just said, oh my God, I got to get a better, closer look.
Catherine was surprised to find the biggest octopus she'd ever seen, who rushed to get a better, closer look at her too.
I'm scared. The grip was so tight, it felt like I was getting my blood pressure taken in my legs, and I was petrified. I was freaking out.
Catherine attempted to calm herself down by taking big breaths.
I just all of a sudden started to relax, and then he did.
The octopus loosened its grip, left her leg, and transformed into a shape that felt like the start of a wordless conversation.
There was a connection. He felt me and I felt him. Oh, you're beautiful.
And they spent the next hour together.
Look at you. It was the best day of my life.
Before continuing their conversation over the past few weeks.
Oh my God, are you ever soft? He's sort of like an underwater puppy dog now. Love you.
Now, Catherine says the octopus she calls baby seems to recognize her, regularly swimming up to her leg to give a hug and receive an appreciative pat.
Look at you. You're so pretty. Now we're buds.
And their friendship, Catherine says, is powerful and a privilege.
I was giving him love, and he gave me love back.
A love that Catherine hopes will inspire others to connect with the natural world, with curiosity, appreciation, and respect.
Good baby.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Incredible.
Phenomenal.
What if it doesn't want to let go of her legs?
Well, he lives with her now then.
I would hug it all day long.
Me too. So cool. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Check out these beautiful cherry blossoms in Burnaby. Thanks, Anne, for sending this gorgeous photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca. Mijang, I know you took a photo of cherry blossoms recently.
I know. Social media is full of cherry blossoms.
Keep sending them in.
I don't get tired of it, though. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Good night.